Hello everyone and welcome to Coding Culture. This channel will contain those programs whose explanation is either not present on YouTube or the explanation is present but not up to the mark. So without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, so the today's question is the set matrix zeros and which is also the daily question of the day 13th of August 2021. Okay, so what we have to do in this question is that we have to traverse the whole 2D array and we have to find if there is if there is a zero in that matrix or not. If there is a zero, what we will do is that we will simply turn that whole row and that column into zero. Okay, like here it's 0, so what we will do is we will convert this 0 into this one into 0, this one into 0, this one into 0, and this one into 0 too. Okay, like here in the example 2, the first row and first column cell is 0. So what we will do is we will make all this row fully 0 and this column fully 0. Okay, similarly the same thing we will do for this 0 also. Okay, so this question can be easily solved by taking another 2D array and storing values in them, but what the question is asking is that we have to do it in place. The in place meaning the meaning of in place is that we don't have to make an auxiliary 2D array, we have to do it in this array only. Okay, so now this is the problem here. Okay, so yeah, I found a solution, and the solution is that what we will do is the cell which is 0, whose value is 0, what we will do, we will make its topmost rows 0 and the topmost column 0. Okay, let me explain. So like here this is 0, so what we will do is we will make its highest row 0 and its the leftmost column as 0. Okay, and or this. Okay, here in place only, we don't have to need to do it in the another array, we will do it in this array only. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And now we will traverse after doing it, we will traverse the whole array, and when we will find 0, what we will do is we will make that rows and that column as 0. Okay, so yeah, here it is. After traversing the second time, I found that this is 0, so what I will do is I will make this whole row as 0, and this is what we will do in the column also. I found that this column is 0, so I will make whole of this column as 0. Yeah, that's the main big thing here. Like here it's a 0, so what I will do is, look here, yeah, here the leftmost and the uppermost and the leftmost, there is nothing, it's the first cell, so the problem will come here. So what we will do is we will take a boolean variable for the rows and for the column, and we will check the first row individually. If it's uppermost, if its first cell is 0, what we will do, I will make the whole row as 0. Okay, yeah, and is this 0, this will be our output. Here also 0. Okay, so I found it's a very well explanation on the leetcode itself in the solution section, so I just want to take you there and explain there only. Okay, so yeah, here what I was saying is that, look here, it is 0. So first of all, I will traverse the whole of the 2D array one by one. This is 1, not 0, this is not 0, this is not 0, this is 0. So what we will do is I will make this uppermost row and leftmost column as 0. Okay, and I will move on. Now the next 0 where we will find is there. So again the uppermost row and the leftmost column is made as 0, and we will move on. Remember, we have to not do anything for the 1, the cells which contain 1. We have to only do for zeros. Okay, so again I will make the same thing again, and yeah, again. So, and now what I will do, I will traverse the row again. Okay, I think you are understanding what I am saying. We will traverse the row again, the whole array again, and what I will check is if it if the matrix I0 means the first row, the first column of any row is 0, we will make that whole row as 0. Okay, if and or if the matrix first row is 0, any cell is 0, we will make whole of that row as 0 or column as 0. So the output here will be, look here it's 0, so 0, here it is fully 0, so 0. So I think the output will be all the element cells will be 0. Yeah, all the cells are 0. Okay, so now without wasting time, let's start to code it. I think you have got the idea, and the idea is simply I will make the uppermost row and the leftmost column of that row column of that cell whose value is 0 to 0, and I will simply traverse it again and check if if any cell is 0, I will make whole of that column and that cell as 0. Okay, and remember, we have to check for the first row and first column separately, because there is no uppermost, like there is no leftmost column for this 0, and there is no uppermost and leftmost column, both are not there for this. So we will have to check the row and the first row and first column separately. Okay, yeah. And also this question has been asked in the Microsoft interview, so this is a very important question. So now let's start to code it. First of all, okay, let me store the matrix length as we were requiring it again and again, and the column size, and now what I will do, I will take a boolean for column. I will limit for call is equal to false. This is to check if there is any column, if in the first column there is any 0 or not. Okay, so yes, now I will make a two loop, and square loop, or I mean say the loop to traverse the 2D array. Yeah, it's okay. And oh, one more thing, how we will check the column is 0 or not. So if any row's first column is 0, this means that the whole of that column should be 0. Okay, so first of all I will check if matrix I 0 column equal to 0, so is for call equal to true, and if that will be true, I will make that whole column as 0 in out of this loop. Okay, so first let me check here. So the explanation was very tough, but the implementation is actually very simple. So if matrix I is equal to 0, what I said, that I will make its uppermost row and leftmost column as 0. So matrix I0 equal to 0 and matrix first row and jth column equal to 0. Okay, so I think yeah, the loops work is now over, and now I will come after, and for now come out of the loop, and now I will check for told you I have to traverse the row again to make that to make those, yeah, to make I've told you I have to traverse the array again to make those whole rows and whole column 0 whose first row or first column cell is 0. Okay, so yeah, I wish, and I also told you I have to start to, we have to check the first row and first column as we will do it separately, and the reason I already told you. So I will check it from this, the first row and first column, not from 0 row and 0 column. Okay, so I is less than r I plus plus, yeah, it's correct. And if matrix I0 or matrix 0j is 0, I will take it from here. Look, first of all I have made it and now I am checking it. Okay, if matrix I0 is 0 or matrix 0j is 0, then what I will do, I will make that cell as 0. Okay, so yeah, by doing this step only I can make a whole row and column as 0. So there is no need to make all that in one loop only. Okay, so yeah, it's it correct. And now what I will do, I will check for the first cell. If it's 0, if it's 0, that means that this whole row should be 0. Okay, so for int I equal to 0, I less than c, I plus plus, and matrix of 0th row and c column, I column equal to 0, equal to 0. Okay, and now I have to do it for the column. If var col okay, so now let's check for it for the column. So if for call, the for call is boolean, so if any column is 0, so that whole column should be 0. So I'll let me take this code from here only, and what I will run for this is I will make it for the row and the matrix I and 0 will be equal to 0. So yeah, that's it, that was the code. And okay, so now let's try to run it for once. We connect my internet, and now let's try to run it and see if it is running or not. Okay, so yeah, it's running, and let's try to submit it. Okay, yes, it is giving the wrong output, so let's check if I made a error here or not. Okay, check where I made the error. Oh, okay, yeah. So I have to not start it from the 0th column. I have to start it from the first column. So for the equal to 1. Okay. As I have already told you, I will check for the first row separately. Okay. Here I am checking for the no. Here I am checking for the first row separately. So there's no need to check it here. Okay. That's why it was giving the error. And let's try to run it once more. Yeah, it's accepted. So basically what I was doing, that I was simply checking if the tough. The code here and the solution is very simple. I'm making the first step here, and I'm making the whole column 0 here. I'm checking for the first row here, and I'm checking for the first column here. Okay, so the question is divided into 4 steps, and the time complexity of this question is O of n square, and the index complexity is 1 as we are in place. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That was today's question and explanation. Hope you liked it. If you have liked, please like the channel. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe the channel so that you get all the updates and new videos every time